Hey friend, have you ever wanted something so deeply that it hurt just to say it out loud? Have you ever buried a dream, not because you stopped wanting it, but because life made it too painful to hold on? This story is for anyone who gave up the thing they loved most. Not because they failed, but because they had to survive. It's about what happens when the dream doesn't die. It just waits until you're ready again. His name was Jordan Blake. And since he was 7 years old, he only wanted one thing: to act. Not for fame, not for red carpets, but because the stage felt like oxygen. Because characters let him say the things real life never gave him words for. Because when the lights hit his face, he felt seen, in a way the real world never quite managed. He grew up in a small Georgia town, raised by a single dad who worked night shifts and packed Jordan's lunch with sticky notes that read, "Dream loud, even if the world is quiet." Jordan listened. He acted in every school play, auditioned for commercials, posted skits online. His dream wasn't just alive, it was on fire. And by 24, he made it to New York. Off-Broadway, indie films, one-time roles, nothing fancy, but it was his, until the world changed. COVID. The theaters closed. The casting calls stopped. The energy of the city, once electric, went dark. For a while, Jordan waited, believed, but bills don't wait for hope. He got a job delivering groceries, then cleaning offices, then assisting in a warehouse. The stage became a memory. He sold his camera gear, stopped reading scripts, didn't even sing in the shower anymore. One night, sitting alone in a dim apartment with a stack of rejection emails and $17 in his bank account, Jordan whispered to the room, "Maybe I'm not meant for this." And that night, for the first time in his life, he didn't dream. A friend back home offered him a job. Assistant manager at an appliance store. Stability, insurance, a quiet town where rent wasn't a war zone. Jordan didn't even hesitate. He packed everything in 2 boxes, took a one-way bus, and promised himself, "I'll be normal, I'll stop chasing, I'll grow up." And for a while, it worked. He got an apartment, bought a microwave, learned how to fill out HR forms. The customers liked him. His co-workers called him steady. But inside, something was missing. Not loudly, not painfully, just emptiness, like a room where the light bulb burned out and no one bothered to change it. One day, a woman walked into the store looking for a mini fridge. She had a little boy with her, 7 years old, curly hair, big glasses, shy. While she talked to the other associate, the boy stood near Jordan, staring. Jordan smiled, knelt down and said, "What's up, little man?" The boy whispered, "You talk like Spider-Man." Jordan laughed. "Do I?" The boy nodded and said, "Say the thing he says." Jordan hesitated. It had been years, but something in him flickered. He lowered his voice, widened his stance, and said, "With great power comes great responsibility." The boy's eyes lit up like it was Christmas. His jaw dropped. He whispered, "That was awesome." And just like that, Jordan felt it. Not the dream, the spark. That night, he recorded a TikTok, just for fun. Just him lip-syncing a movie line in a hoodie. He almost didn't post it, but something said, "Why not?" He went to sleep and forgot about it. By morning, it had 600,000 views. People flooded the comments. "You sound exactly like him. More of this, please. Dude, why aren't you an actor?" Jordan laughed. Then he cried, because something had returned. Not the industry, not the paycheck, but the voice inside him that used to say, "You were born for this." Over the next few months, Jordan kept posting. Voices, characters, sketches, original monologues. Not for auditions, but for joy. And people watched. Not just hundreds, not just thousands, millions. A talent agent reached out, then a director, then an offer for a voiceover project for an animated short. One gig turned into 3, He got featured in an online spotlight as the former retail worker reclaiming Hollywood. And one day he stood on a real stage again. Not on Broadway, not in front of critics, but at a small school auditorium back in Georgia, talking to a group of kids who dreamed too loud for their own good. He looked at them and said, "I gave up on my dream once, and it found its way back to me, not because the world changed, but because I did." So if you've ever let go of the thing you loved most, if you buried the dream, not because you didn't care, but because caring started to hurt too much, this is your reminder. Sometimes life takes something from your hands, just so you'll learn how to hold it differently. Sometimes the dream comes back, not in the way you imagined, but in the way you needed. You're not too late. You're not too old. And you're not done. What you gave up might just be finding its way back to you. So keep the door unlocked. What dream did you have to let go of? And are you ready to welcome it back? Tag someone who's forgotten how powerful they are. Subscribe for more true stories that awaken the heart and remind you who you are.